What happens when your best isn't quite good enough? When you train and fight and hit and strive for every inch, every battle, every point. When everything you try in training that comes off doesn't come off in matches. When you're sweeping almost every team aside, yet someone else sweeps them all aside. If, like Loughborough Lightning, you've got some of the best players in the world, yet you can't quite make it to that next level with some of the bigger clubs. Or if, like DMP Durham Sharks, you have to build from the ground up, and no matter what you do, you cannot get that ever elusive first point on the board. Do you give up? Do you quit? Do you go home? Do you call it a day? No, because you're a rugby player. You're a Premier 15s rugby player. And this is who you are, and this is what you do. And that is why we are here today at Loughborough University for Loughborough Lightning against DMP Durham Sharks in round 6 of the Premier 15s. Could this be the season that Loughborough Lightning make it to the final? Or even sooner than that, could this be the day that DMP Durham Sharks get their first win of the season? But before we get into all the action, assessment and analysis, as always, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to the Women's Rugby Show YouTube channel and turn on those notifications. Follow us across social media and check out Rugby RFC for bespoke women's rugby clothing range. Now, let's go see what makes these two sides tick. So we all know about the rise of Loughborough Lightning and the fall and struggles of DMP Durham Sharks, so there's no use going over old ground. But what is interesting is comparing like for like. So, for example, Loughborough Lightning have actually scored 70 points less this season than the same stage last year, which is surprising because when you've got the likes of England captain Sarah Hunter, vice captain Emily Scarrett, Lark Davies, Helena Rowland, Rona Lloyd, the list goes on, in your team, you'd think they'd be scoring a lot more. However, the first two names on that list, Hunter and Scarrett, have played a combined 3 games between them this season, which means the likes of Davies and Rowland have had to shoulder a lot of the scoring burden. Now, this may be a bad omen for DMP Durham Sharks, but at this stage last year, Rona Lloyd had scored 3 tries, the same as what she's on this campaign. However, it was about this time that Loughborough Lightning played bottom of the table Furwood Waterloo Ladies, and on that day, the Scotland Flyer scored 7 tries in a 91-0 thrashing. So all I can say to DMP Durham is watch out. As for the visitors, well, they'll be pleased to know that a lot of their bigger performers are coming back into the side, and that made a big difference in round 5 when they played Exeter Chiefs women. They actually had their best result of the season, which was a deficit of only 25 points. Having spoken to a lot of the Sharks players and staff after that 105-0 game against Wasps Ladies, and if you haven't seen that, we'll put the link here, they are seeing this season as very much a learning curve in their next 3-year stint in the Premier 15s. So the message from in-camp is very much learn, adapt, remain positive. The problem with that is remaining positive is very difficult when you're shipping tries left, right and centre every single week. So all I can say to the Sharks this week is defensively you have to be a lot more organised. We saw against Wasps that when it came to the backs, there were so many gaps that when Wasps got the ball, it was almost guaranteed tries because they had so much space to run through. It's fair to say that DMP and Lightning don't match up when it comes to their packs. Lightning's pack is taller, stronger, more powerful. But when it comes to the backs, you'd like to think things would be a bit more even if Sharks stayed organised. That means staying tight, going up as a line, lots and lots of communication. And maybe this result today could be a lot closer to the 27-12 match it was last season, to Loughborough Lightning, obviously. Do I think Loughborough will win? Yes, I do. Do I think they'll score a lot of tries? Yes, I do. But this is the Women's Rugby Show, and anything can happen. So let's go see how these two sides line up today. After Rhys Edwards was unable to put out his strongest side due to the autumn internationals, he certainly made up for that by bringing in 4 Red Roses into the starting 15 for this game. Lightning's top try scorer this season, Lark Davies, goes straight in at number 2, replacing Bryony Field, who takes to the bench. It's an all-Canadian second row as Abby de Guide joins her compatriot Courtney Holtkamp, whilst Rachel Malcolm shifts from 8 to her usual position at 6 to accommodate second row come back row Morwenna Talling, fresh off helping England do the double over France. Ella Vivas returns to take the scrum half shirt away from Jess Weaver, and it's a similar story for Helena Rowland and Lizzie Goulden at 10. In fact, it's pretty much all change across the back line, with Rona Lloyd switching wings, Ellen Ramsbottom and Emily Scarrett coming in, and Olivia Jones moving to fullback. Helen Nelson will be glad she stays where she is. Datisha Harper, Leah Bartlett, Becky Noon and Rachel Woozy are the new faces in the 23 this week and will be looking to make an impact when called upon. In contrast, DMP have been a bit more selective in their changes for round 6, only making 2 switches to the side that started against Exeter Chiefs women last time out. Meg Gardner is promoted from the bench to start at tight head, which means Sam Herrick shifts to the other side of the front row. In the backs, there's a slight reshuffle, with Amy Lazell returning to partner Lindsay Taylor in the centres, and last season's standout performer Beth Blacklock taking up the fullback jersey. There's a 5-3 split on the bench, with Hunter, Keel, Gordon and Lewis the new faces on the pine from 2 weeks ago. Now, let's bring you the match action.
Now the tips coming out, teams coming out on the pitch.
Thrown to be taken by Lark Davies. She's so good at these, and it perfectly goes down that line. And speaking of line, the ball's come out now to Scarrett, whips it forward. What a catch there by Ellen Ramsbottom. Turns in, turns out, and she doesn't want to give the ball up, she doesn't want to go down, so she's going to set it back, and that ball's going to get popped up wonderfully there. Crash ball, and it looks like Rachel Malcolm is going to be the first to touch down, and she does. First score of the day to the home team. Helena Rowland now with a very quick routine, quick kick, and it's 7-0 to Lightning. Ball now goes over, out on the far side. It's going over to Olivia Jones. She has it now. Now there's plenty of space. Olivia Jones cuts inside. She puts the ball down, and it's another score for Lightning.
Try for Loughborough Lightning.
And Helen Rowland has no issues with that. Takes a bit of time and puts it through the posts.
No, I don't.
Scrum down for Loughborough Lightning on the 5-metre line. They've got so many dangerous runners out the back, but they also have a very strong and powerful pack. So there's a lot of threats here for the away team. Going to have to stay vigilant as the ball is put in by Vivas. And they're going to drive forward. Who's going to take it? Looks like Morwenna Talling at the back. Normally a second row, but she's just adept. Morwenna Talling does lose it, but the ref has blown his whistle, and that will be a penalty try to the home team.
Try for Loughborough Lightning.
Lark Davies, this must be her 7th or 8th line out now. Plenty of practice for her, and that maul is going to roll now. As with the new laws, it can only stop once. Doesn't look like it's going to slow down here, because it did look like it was going to stop, but it is a try for the home team. And it was very well worked by the Loughborough pack. 30 seconds to go in this first half. It is a big ask for this DMP side, but it would be quite astounding if they put their first try of the day on the board. They've only scored one try all season, so I think it'll be even more impressive. Hawkscamp tries to steal the ball, and it's powerful running there, good double challenge. The referee blows his whistle again in front of the post now. Ella Vivas takes it quickly. I thought they might have tried to kick for goal, but they don't. So Helena Rowland, of course, with the firepower that you've got in front of you, there's kind of no need. Don't need to kick those extra points where you can run them in, and that's exactly what Loughborough are trying to do now. They're edging closer and closer to that try line. Crash ball by Moena Talling. She gets closer. Surely an opportunity now for the forwards to take another crash ball, or is it going to be whipped out wide to where we're sitting? No, it's Lark Davies again with a crash ball. Looked like it's over, but held up, and that's exactly what the referee is saying. And that is half-time here at Loughborough University Stadium. It is 26-0 to the home team.
And that is half-time here down at the Loughborough Stadium between Loughborough Lightning and DM Durham number 16.
Huh? Helena Rowland, quick step, zips in and out, gives it now to Rona Lloyd, and Rona Lloyd is going to do what she does, but turns in inside. All unlucky there by Beth Blacklock. Got one of her legs, but wasn't enough to bring her down. And Loughborough Lightning are almost in the position where the ball was kicked from. Pounded through forward now. And now there's a gap by Ella Vivas. DMP Durham Sharks were looking left, were looking right, but they weren't looking straight down the middle, which is where Ella Vivas runs, and she dots the ball down. By Ella Vivas. Helena Rowland sets herself, doesn't take too much of a run up, and slots it straight through the post. Another 2 points to Lightning. Means Lightning can go again, and they do. Wonderful hands again. And Rachel Malcolm, she's the one that brings it forward. Ella Vivas to Helena Rowland, whipped in, and now Emily Scarrett has pace. She puts her head down. She's got options on the right. She gives it to Rona Lloyd. Rona Lloyd is not allowed to go any further. It's Dewar who stops her, but she still manages to pop it up. And Helena Rowland skips any challenge. There is a chase. Rosie Black gets to her. What a challenge that is. But it is a try for Helena Rowland. Bryony Field with the throw-in this time, having been brought on in place of Lark Davies, and it's a very, very good throw. It's Courtney Holcamp's the one you can see standing up directing traffic, and wouldn't surprise me if that pack was going to power over. I think there was help there on the right hand side, but they didn't need it because they've touched down again, and it's Field with the try. Quite a way out here for Helena Rowland, and I'll be very impressed if she gets this, and it goes through the post. I am impressed. She did get it, and it's another 2 points. Now on that very far side, as we're looking at it, it's getting a lot darker here at Loughborough University as Lizzie Goulden brings it forward, gives it to Courtney Holcamp, who's been excellent today. Fantastic. Emily Scarrett, it's a 2-on-1 situation, a 3-on-1 situation, and it means Rachel Woozy is going to touch down on the outside for her first try since she's come on today. It's going to be a kick from Lizzie Goulden, takes a few steps, and is it going to go out? It's not going to go out. That's rather unlike Goulden. She does have a massive boot on her, and speaking of massive boots, that was Beth Blacklock, who puts it deep into Loughborough territory. It's quickly taken by Vivas, and it's Goulden again. She's not going to kick this one. Oh, Emily Scarrett knocks on. That is going to be a free. Oh no, that's a penalty, and it's offside. And what are DMP going to do here? And they look like, yep, Beth Blacklock is going to kick this.
Beth Blacklock now, she scored 2 penalties in her last game against Exeter and scores 1 penalty here today.
In the second half, Reece Edwards has made a number of changes, unsurprisingly. Weather is getting a little bit colder here. The ball is delivered right to that middle of that line out, and it's now another opportunity for that big, strong, powerful pack to push forward. It doesn't look like it stops, so they're going to play on, and Jess Weaver takes it on herself. Helen Nelson back to Jess Weaver. She's going to snipe in. There's already been one scrum half score today from a similar move. And now the pack are going to go over. They score. It's another try for Loughborough Lightning, 55-3.
Another try for Loughborough Lightning.
Lizzie Goulden now eyeing up those sticks. Chance for her to get on the scoreboard today since she's come on, replacing Helena Rowland. Takes a couple of steps back, a few steps forward, and slots it right through those uprights. It looks like this game is done and dusted. Get it out. Just get it out. Ball's been kept in. All they need to do is kick it out, and this game will be over. We are in the red, and you'd like to think that one of these sides would want to do that, because it is very, very cold now. And the ball goes out. The referee is going to blow his whistle, and the final score is going to be Loughborough Lightning 57, DMP Durham Sharks 3.
And that concludes our game.
Courtney, first of all, congratulations. Another week, another win. How does it feel?
Thank you. It feels great. Yeah, every time I get to step on the field with Lightning, wonderful opportunity. I feel so grateful to be able to play here with them.
As a team, do you feel like you've hit your stride now?
Yeah, like this is our 6th round now. Yeah, hitting our stride, absolutely. Everything feels super fast. Like, obviously today there are a few little bumps in the road, but yeah, still super fast play. Felt like we had some good continuity and obviously places to work on. But we'll do that next week in training. Yeah.
A lot of bodies coming back in certainly in terms of the Red Roses.
Yeah.
What's it like having them in the side?
Oh, it's amazing. Like, yeah, you get names like Emily Scarrett, Lark Davies, even Helena Rowland, like all those girls. Moena Talling, like she's only 18, but yeah, they're all super crucial members of our team, and yeah, they just make it like extraordinary.
With the likes of Harlequins and Saracens winning week in, week out, do you feel there's a lot of pressure on you and the side to keep having to win every single week to keep up with them?
Yeah, we just stick to our game, stick with what we can control, and obviously they're super strong competitors, but yeah, we just stick to our game, stick to how we play, how our system goes, and yeah, just stick it to them as far as intensity goes.
Absolutely. You talk about your game. You were absolutely fantastic today.
Oh, thank you.
Started off as a team. Started off really strong, really quick. Was that the message from Reece straight away? Was it to just get in their faces, try and score as many points as possible today?
Absolutely, yeah. As far as attack goes, we just wanted to keep possession, and I think we did an okay job of that. We definitely kept the ball alive, kept it moving. It was, yeah. There's, as far as breakdowns go, there wasn't very many. There was lots of offloads. But yeah, in terms of defense in that contact area, we just wanted to stick it to them, be dominant in the collision, and yeah, obviously attempt to beat them in every sort of gameplay.
Absolutely, and like I said, you had a fantastic game.
Thank you.
You actually got our Women's Rugby Show and Ruggett Player of the Match.
Thank you.
Honoured. You've not been with this team very long, so how have you felt fitting in?
It's been great. Like the girls, even from day one, they were super welcoming. Like I felt comfortable instantly. Like if I ever had any questions, they were more than able to answer those questions. And yeah, it's been great. Every day of training I look forward to, and yeah, I'm just so grateful to be able to play rugby over here.
And speaking of over here, what do you think of the Premier 15s? How have you found your Premier 15s experience?
Honestly, it's been awesome. Like, the level of play here is uncomparable to like university back home. Obviously we don't have any competition going on back home, but yeah, it's just that next step up, like as far as intensity and speed and physicality, and it's definitely helped me improve my game.
Brilliant. Well, listen, congratulations today. Great result, great performance by yourself.
Thank you.
And good luck for next week.
Thank you.
Sam, another tough game today. First of all, I guess, what positives, if any, can you take from that?
Quite a lot, actually. For us, we knew obviously coming down to Loughborough it was going to be a tough game. They've got a team full of superstars, as have we, superstars in the making. Positives from my perspective, our ball retention has improved week on week, and that's been a big focus for us over the last kind of few weeks. And I think that gave us more opportunities in the game. So another thing that we were really trying to focus on was trying to play in the right areas of the field, so trying to get down into Loughborough's half and then put pressure on. And I think that we did that better this week than we have in previous weeks, so really happy to see those strides forwards.
You've got a lot of young players, a lot of inexperienced players. How do you keep a positive atmosphere in camp when you're shipping close to 60 points in on a day like this?
It's actually pretty easy. The players themselves, they're so enthusiastic and they're so driven to improve, and we've got a really good balance at the moment of young players who are just hungry and really want to play, and the experienced players that kind of see their role as nurturing those young players and bringing them through. So sometimes we come out of Saturdays and we've had those big scores, you know, from Dicko and my perspective, we're looking at those small improvements, the things that we just talked about. But the players, they bound into training on Tuesday, and they inspire all of us, really. They're a phenomenal bunch.
You said just before we started the interview that Dicko's just returning from self-isolation. Has his absence played any part in disruption for preparations for this game?
Not at all, really, and what I mean by that is Dicko's been very involved in preparation. He hasn't been able to be with us, but he and I have spoken probably every day just around preparation, obviously selection for the game, and just feeding into what we want to do in training. Been really fortunate as well. We had a couple of coaches from the club step in to help out today, so we've been a Dicko down, but not bodies down. So that's been really. I'm very fortunate that they were able to step in and help.
Reece, absolute pleasure first of all to have you on the show. Not had a chance in the last couple of seasons. So first of all, congratulations on the day today. I guess a bit of a boost, certainly. How do you see the results, certainly as a boost, definitely for the players that have sort of come back into the side after missing out from last week?
Yeah, thanks for the invite on the show. It's good to be on. I think the result, it's great to get a win, obviously. 5 points in the league is important in terms of our ambitions, but having all our England players back has been great this week. We've had a great training week. The energy they bring is brilliant. But I think for me, the depth of the squad we've got and the sort of wider squad we've got is the big difference for me this year. The energy, the whole group, and the positivity we have is great. And it's. Today was about going out and showcasing that. I think to score a lot of points is nice, but I think we're also a little bit frustrated that we probably didn't score a few more in terms of the opportunities we created. There's some glimpses of some really good stuff, which is not necessarily backed up as well. So we're pleased. Obviously, it's nice to get the win, and I think Darlington in particular really challenged us in the end as well, which is really credit to them, which obviously made it difficult, but pleased, but there's plenty more to see from us.
You say that obviously putting big points on the score isn't the goal, but surely you must have seen the likes of Wasps put 105 past them and have an aim for this game to certainly maybe not equal that, but certainly put a similar score on.
Honestly, no. It's you see scores like that, you always feel for the opposition more than anything. It's points difference kind of plays into it in the grand scheme, but ultimately wins are more important, and it's we've got to make sure that we get the wins on the board and bonus points where possible. To stay in with playoff hopes. And it's you score big points, then that's great, but I don't think it necessarily comes down to that. And especially as coaches and teams, when we prepare for it, it's not something that we say we have to score X points. It's about making sure that we take the opportunities we presented them. And I think if we went back and reflected on that, we've probably left a lot more points out there than we've probably scored, which is great, you know, in the sense in terms of where we can go and what we can do to get better. So it's certainly a growth opportunity for us as opposed to anything else. But you know, it's all about, if you want to be in championships, you've got to win games.
Wow, that brings us to the end of another exciting episode. It was really great seeing a lot of different kind of tries there from Loughborough Lightning. I love seeing them play. You think they're going to go with their forwards, and then they use their backs so many times. I really like to see their attacking brand of rugby. As for DMP Durham Sharks, another week, another loss on the board, and it's a shame because they do have some very talented players. I think the problem with them is that as the game went on, there were some tired legs, some tired bodies, and the problem with that is you just can't get organised. So hopefully for them, we'll see them get a win on the board before Christmas. Be a nice Christmas present. Anyway, that is the end of this episode. As I said, thank you as always for watching. Before we go, please make sure that you do give this video a like, subscribe to the Women's Rugby Show YouTube channel and turn on those notifications so you know when our next video will drop. Follow us across social media. We'll put the handles up now. And please do check out Rugget RFC. We'll put their website below. We'll put their social media handles there as well. Go and check them out. They make bespoke women's rugby clothing. Their stuff is sick. And if you use the code Women's Rugby Show, you will get a discount at checkout. Now, before we go anywhere, we're going to leave you with some more Women's Rugby Show content. And now I'm going to go. So folks, thank you for watching. I will catch you soon. See you guys.